Greetings, Judah. DFG here, Gideon's Flight. Hey guys, I just want to take a moment and share some scripture with you all from our book, and the message that I want to embrace with you today that Yah has given me. Um, I would say the inspiration to share. Praise Yah, and that is around just again reminding us that our life is predestined. Our life was intended for us to have purpose, direction. And many times, as the men of Judah, we tend to get easily distracted, or because of all the lies that are out, in the religion world. You follow me? In the world of the Gentile, the Eurocentric doctrine that's out there that conflicts with our truth. Many of our men, struggle trying to figure out, okay, what should I be doing and what is my purpose? Or even worse, there's a question with many of our men, if their life has any meaning to it whatsoever. In essence, was I just born, to die? And I will tell you, as men of Judah, that is absolutely deception. That is Satan, planting seeds of self-hate inside of you. That is Satan, using, his demonic presence, his principalities to continually to distract you, to get you to see yourself as nothingness. And what I mean by, again, what I mean by nothingness, I guess nothingness is nothingness. But at many times, we don't break down that word to the level that it becomes effective and as far as clarity of thought. So when y'all talking about nothingness, or when you hear me say, the societies of the world have intentionally targeted us to give us a feeling of nothingness, it simply means you feel like you have no worth outside of, whatever you might be able to do to, contribute, to the welfare maybe of your mom, or I don't know, just, enough to give you a certain level of independence, where you're not a beggar, in the street. And maybe, if you're really fortunate, find, a woman of your choosing to build with, so that Yah can double your blessings, because He's going to use both hands together. You know what I'm saying, to edify Him, and again and to solidify your purpose as a man with a woman, to, as the Scripture dictated to us, to be fruitful, and multiply and replenish the earth. And that is the purpose of every man of Israel, every man of Judah. Now we're in conflict now, because as we were instructed to replenish, but now the enemy of us has now is doing everything in his power to root us out. So that not only are we not to be able, not only that we're not able to replenish, but that we're at the point right now where we're being genocided. And that genocide comes in many, many factions. Remember, your enemy, as the devil, or as the Scripture said, the devil, your enemy, our enemy, he goes around, like a lion, seeking who he might be able to destroy or to eat alive, to slaughter. And so many, those are metaphors to help you to understand that there's a lot of wickedness that is encamping the men of Israel, the men of Judah, the women too. A lot of wickedness. And that wickedness is intended to destroy your self-worth. That wickedness is to get you to not to trust in Elohim. That wickedness is to get you to literally live a life of nothingness. Purpose, without purpose, without value, without substance, without meaning. And that, should not be. We were all brought here for a reason. I'm talking again about the people of Elohim, the tribes. We were all set here and brought here for a reason. My brothers, listen to me again. You were set here with a purpose. You were set here on a mission. If Yah didn't want you to be here, you would not have survived, the whole transition of life. You wouldn't have gotten here. You went from your father to the nesting in your mother, to the deliverance, to now to the growth, and now to a place where that you have a certain level of independence. You never would have made that complete journey to this point if Yah did not have a plan for you. But the problem is because you don't see yourself as Yah sees you, you see yourself as the enemy sees you. And many of you will say, well, that's not true. I see myself as I see me. Well, that's debatable at best. Because if we would ask most of the men of Judah to describe their purpose, describe, their plan, walk us through it, you would start struggling immediately talking about that. Or you'll come up with some vanity, some aim that the Gentiles or the heathens have created, to get an education, to get a great job, to get a house, whatever. Their vanity. Because remember, everything to them is about materialism. Everything about them is about, ravaging the earth. We were put here to replenish the earth. They came down here and interacted with our women and then created a different species. And that species is here to ravish the earth. We're the replenishers. They're the ravagers. And right now, the ravagers are winning. And they're winning because, men of Judah are still struggling with self-identity. Because we choose to believe that we're either, when I say nothing, you choose to believe what somebody else says that you are. That's what I mean by nothingness. They're defining who you are instead of you're looking at the book and looking at the word of Elohim and letting Elohim give you your definition, your definitive definition of what you are, why you're here, what is the purpose of your life. Because it is here for a purpose. Now that purpose is up to you whether or not it gets fulfilled. But there was a purpose and there is a purpose for your life. And you only have so much time to get there, my brothers. Many guys say, well, I got my whole life to live. No, you got minutes, sometimes seconds, sometimes to live. You never know the day that Yah is going to come calling. I'm sure some of you guys have heard. Well, I won't even get into that because that's not part of this message. But my point is, tomorrow isn't promised. And what you do today, it's going to matter if you don't make it till tomorrow. What you have done on yesterday is going to matter if you don't get through the night. But you can't do anything if you don't believe in something. And that something has to be something greater than yourself, I might add. Let me be clear here. I believe in me. Well, what does that mean? Show us what that looks like. Okay, I can embrace what you're saying, my brothers, when you say I believe in me. But now show me what that looks like. Show me what that looks like in the kingdom of this world, and then show me what that looks like before the kingdom of Elohim. And then it's going to be easy for you to decide if you live the life of true purpose or if you're living a life of vanity, chasing, the myth of riches and wealth. And that's in the guise of happiness. Because that's what many of you believe, because we've been lied to by the Gentiles and told, well, if you have, wealth and you have money, then you can have happiness. Yet if you look over at them, they are some of the most miserable, wretched, deplorable human beings on the planet. Well, if you want to call them human beings, subhuman beings on the planet, that's probably the better way to say it. I'm talking about the Gentiles, the heathens. They're subhuman. They're not human. All right, they are almost hybrid. They're hybrided. That's why they have, when it comes down to doing things of the soul, they have no. They're soulless people. They don't have that ability to discern evil from good. In their world, evil is good. Taking advantage is what they are born to do. Again, to ravish the earth, to destroy the earth. And obviously, they want to destroy their number one enemy, and that is the guardians who were placed here to protect the earth. Israel, Judah, the men, with the support of our women. And I know yesterday's message, I shared some perspective, and this message was a love message to the women of Judah. You know, it's tough love. And you know, women of Judah, I want you to ask yourself the question: would you like the truth in its purity, or you want lies? Wrapped in a nice little bundle that gives you a warm fuzzy, but at the end of the night, you still by yourself. Or do you want, the hard, cold truth, but it's going to warm you up at night and keep you feeling safe and protected? That you may truly understand your value as other men see you. What I mean, mankind. That's the true measurement of your worth. Not what you think of yourself. What do others think of you? I'm talking about people in the kingdom. I'm not talking about, again, the heathens are liars. They live the lie. These people will tell you something today and then tomorrow come back and tell you something totally opposite. I am telling you, and you should never believe what they say. I'm not saying don't hear what they say or listen to what they say, but you should never believe these people. I'm telling you, talking about back and forth, flip-flopping. I mean, 1 minute they'll say something today, and then tomorrow they'll be challenged on it. Even if they're not challenged, they'll come back the next day and tell you something totally different. And you sitting there confounded, trying to figure out, what am I supposed to do? Well, what you're not supposed to do is listen to their asses. You're not supposed to be following their direction, their prescription of life. Today is one of their wicked ass holidays, Easter, and I've seen many people, our people celebrating that, and that's a direct abomination. That is worshiping other gods. Yes, gods, not Elohim, other gods. And they were willingly and they were doing it without any hesitation. And that is why this judgment continues to come upon us, because if you don't know who you are, then how can you ever come together as a people to move in the direction of purpose? If you have no idea who you are, you have to know who you are. It begins, the fundamental truth is, again, it's self-recognition. And you have no recognition that's outside of what Yah says about you. Yah is the ultimate guide, the ultimate measure of a man and mankind. And there's no other way to get around it. And if you try to go around it, he said all outside of the gate. Let me go to that right quick. Just as a reminder. You've heard me talk about this, time and time again. And then I'm going to come back and get into the meat of this message. But if you have your cipher with you, I want you to take the book, and I want you to go to Revelations, and I want you to go to chapter 22. All right, and go to verse 14. Okay. Matter of fact, go to verse 13. This is what Yeshua really. This is the words of Elohim coming through Yeshua. He says, I am the Alpha and the Omega, or the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Blessed are they that do Yahuwah's commandments, that they may have a right to the tree of life, that they may enter through the gates of that city. Now here's the part that I want you to take in, my brothers. It said, verse 15, for without are dogs. You see, if you're not following the walk and the path of the book, then you're following the way of the heathen or the dog. If you want to, you say, well, what is heathen? What does that mean? What is a heathen? Here's what a heathen is, and a Gentile is, based off of what Yah says they are. And he says that if you don't follow his way, then you are 100% following their way. Which makes you a nobody, because you're not them. They will never recognize you. That's why they flip your name every, generation or so. You go from black to colored to African American to Pan African to what else? To Negro, to every name but your true name. Some of us are finally starting to recognize who we are. Israel, in particular. Here in the north, really the southern kingdom, Judah, and Benjamin. But that would only change a nation of name like that who did not know who they are and who were depending upon another or other nations, enemy nations, really, because when people are able to dictate to you how you come and how you go, it makes you a slave. It puts them in a position of control or authority over you. So if you're not following Yah's way, then you're following the way of the oppressor. And the oppressor's way is to serve their own gods. And Elohim says here, he said, blessed are they that do, verse 14, Revelation 22 and 14. Blessed are they that do Yahuwah's commandments, that they may have a right to the tree of life, that they may enter through the gates into the city. For without are dogs, sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whoever loves and make it a lie. The Gentiles. They love a lie. So you can't count on these people. You should not be following after the ways of these people, because the only thing they love is a lie. Deception. The art of deception. They master it. They live to take advantage. They ravish the earth. And many of our people try to follow them, but you don't have in you what they have in them. Because at the end of the day, you've got the blood of Israel in you. And there's a judgment that's going to befall you for following after them. Here and now. And you're going to miss out on the world to come, I might add. Where a dog is a dog is a dog. A dog, there's no judgment for the dog. The dog lives to die. That dog, if he has a purpose, it's to be a predator. And in some cases, maybe to serve his master, as the dogs do in their culture. I'm talking about two-legged dogs as well as four-legged dogs. Don't tell me about calling people dogs. Elohim called them dogs. He said all out the gate are dogs. D-O-G-S. So like they spell their God. G-O-D. It's the same letters in reverse. You know how they do it in reverse. That's the whole, disillusionment. I don't have the right word, I guess. I'm just going to call it the sorcery of it. Saying things in reverse. Okay? Half and half. But let's get back over to where I really wanted to focus, and then, I'll let you wrap it up. But go over to the book of Jeremiah. And this is important, my sisters and my brothers, and mainly to my brothers. But this is very important. But sisters, listen in. So because there are some things that is written here that you should know. You may already know, but you may have not reviewed it for a while. You may have not thought about it for a while, or maybe you don't know. A lot of things we talk about on this channel, you'll hear me quoting things, but one of the things that Yah has put up on my heart is to now take you to some of these places. Take you on a journey. Take you, to the hidden place where the truth lies. It's in the open, but it's hidden from those who do not have eyes to see or ears to hear. And so one of the things that Yah is saying, well, bring them, DFG, bring them to the word. Bring it to them so they can see it for themselves. And then they're without excuse. Not that anybody's looking for an excuse. Maybe then they'll know the truth. Maybe that's what you would. First, this ministry, I don't want to call it a ministry. I call it a ministry only in terms of teaching, okay? Not in terms of the, what you would consider, this occultic shit that goes on in these churches every Sunday or whatever days they go on. This is more of a messenger channel, end time messenger to be exact, a warning channel to open up your eyes before it's too late, while you still have a chance to do something about it. Okay? But anyway, taking us back here, I think there's going to be some things that we can glean or eat, from Jeremiah chapter 1. And I'm going to start reading around about verse 4, because the first couple of verses of it kind of gets into who's the son of who and what king. At the time, our people, are in captivity. By the way, at least Judah is in captivity again, because Judah is always rebellious. So Yah raised up a prophet amongst our people to bring deliverance to the people by bringing the truth to the people. And that was, and that's, that it was the purpose of the walk of Jeremiah. So I'm going to start reading to you from verse 4. It says, and this is Jeremiah speaking. Then the word of Yahuwah came to me saying, Before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. Now see this message right here, that particular statement. Before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. Before I formed you in the belly. Now some people might say, well, what, because you know where I'm going at when you're killing these babies. Well, he said before, so if it's before, that means it's not talking about, a baby's in the womb. I know that's what some of you are thinking. Maybe not. But see, Yah is not the author of confusion. Because look what the next statement says. He said, before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. And before you came forth out of the womb of your mother, I sanctified you. So what does that say? That at conception, there is life. At conception, Yah recognizes that child. And it has nothing, you can say whatever you want to say. Now I'm talking to you and your brothers too. All of you pro-choice people who want to say it's not a baby until it comes out of the womb. That is a lie. According to the book, how can Yah know you before you come out the womb if you did not exist? If it's not a life? He sanctified Jeremiah in Jeremiah's mother's womb. How many babies have you allowed to be killed who Yah sanctified? And never got here to do the work that Yah intended them to do. Who do you think Yah is going to hold accountable for that? Not the child. Why do you think our journey, our struggle here has been so hard and so difficult? It's because of that kind of rebellion. And where are we getting these ideas from about slaughtering and killing children? From Esau, the Edomites, the so-called European ones, the Western ones, the singers of the world. Margaret Sanger, the grandmother of Bill Gates, who again pushing it. He's pushing, genocide again. His mom pushed it to get rid of the detestable, which she really means the Hebrews, the Israelites. His grandmother pushed it, and now he's pushing it in the form of inoculating us. And many of us are doing it. Many of us, Judah is doing it. Because why? They want the little trinkets and beads that come along with it. I got to take it because, one day if you don't take it, you're not going to be able to get a stimulus check, or you're not going to be able to get your EBT card, or whatever it is, you sucking on the government's titty trying to get. And I'm just forewarning you again. You kill this child, then you're going to be held accountable for this. If you advocate for them, you're going to get held accountable for this. If you even let that come out of your mouth, you're going to be held accountable for whether you did it or not. Yah say we will be judged by every idle word that cometh out of the mouth of a man. Idle word means an irresponsible word, or a word that's in conflict. It's in conflict with what Yah's word says. Anytime you go against Yah's word, formulating your own opinion, right? Yah is going to judge you for that. He talked about it. Solomon said, there's a way that seemeth right to a man, but the end of his ways leads him to death. And so don't think you can just say these things and Yah don't hear what you're saying. Yah hears the cries of his people, both good and evil. Therefore, the judgment is upon the people. Now, with the wicked and the Gentiles and the heathens, he don't hear nothing these devils got to say. He's not listening to them. Their time is already short, and they know it. But for you, Judah, your purpose has to be fulfilled here. And if you don't come into your right mind, how can you do that? If you continue to look at the ways of the Gentile, buy into their concepts, their precepts of life, their value system, which is always for you a bird's snare. Always. They're always luring us in to help them, and then as minute we get there and things get established, then they move on without you. And they throw your ass out. Kick you out. And there you sitting there dejected and depressed, and now you want to commit suicide, and you just want to throw in the towel and go hang out on the corners and whatever, but you have no one to blame but yourself, because you shouldn't have followed them in the first place. Yah warned you not to follow their ways and their customs, but you refused, many of you. And now it's time to come back to your right mind. And now it's time for you to resist Satan. That's Satan's seed. Revelation 22 again. He says all that are out the gate are dogs, sorcerers, whoremongers, idolaters, and those who love lies. They love it. You understand what that means? They love it. And unfortunately, many of us are learning to love it too, because we're becoming just like them. Well, many of them many of our people are out dogging the dogs, for lack of a better word. But not all of us. There's always going to be a remnant. There's always going to be a called out select amongst us, just like with Jeremiah here. Those of us who understand the purpose. Those of us who embrace the purpose. Those of us who love the truth. Talking about you and I. And I'm not talking about, your ability to never fall. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your heart, what's in you. You may have a flaw here or a fault there, but that's why repentance is available to you, to us. But what's more important is what's in your heart. So Yeshua said what's come out the man is what defile a man. And he gave a description of all of that. And many of the people of Judah have learned to defile themselves by, again, fellowshipping with devils. And Yah said that ought not happen. It shouldn't happen. And he raised up men like Jeremiah, men like myself, like many other you brothers and sisters out there, to bring forth the truth, so that our people would know that truth and hear that truth again and again and again. And sometimes I know these messages seem that they seem to be almost like a rerun or a replay, but that's the way it should be. Study to show yourself approval. Study to get an understanding. Solomon again said that with all you're getting, what? Get wisdom and get an understanding. Wisdom comes from above. And an understanding comes as a gift of Elohim if you open your heart for him to give you and to feed you the truth. And that truth comes in his word. And let's go a little farther. It's the word of Yahuwah came unto me saying, see the word. It's all in the word, my sisters and my brothers. He said, then the word of Yahuwah came unto me saying, before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. And before you came out of the womb of your mother, I blessed you. I sanctified you. I ordained you a prophet unto the nations. You see, he didn't use no man. See, y'all don't need no man to ordain his men. And he doesn't need another man to do that. That's occultic, boule wickedness that's going on. That's satanic worship. These ordinations that these men are going to, using their word, God called me, and I've been ordained a minister for 5 years. No, if Yah had a calling for you, it was before you were placed in your mother's womb. He would have sanctified you, like we talked a while back, on a couple of videos back. Many of us knew as children that we had a purpose to serve for Yah. We knew it as kids. We always have known it. We didn't quite know how it would fulfill, how it would pan out. Many of us thought, well, maybe I'm supposed to be a preacher. Maybe I'm supposed to be whatever. But Yah said, no, I got something much higher than that stuff. That's earthly stuff. That's foolishness. That's folly. So that's why Paul said it pleases Yah at the foolishness of preaching for those who believe. See, Yah called that stuff foolishness. You understand? So the ordainedship comes at birth or before birth. And so some of these little babies that some of you have in your homes are messengers or prophets of Yah. And you need not forget that. What are you doing to teach them the word and train them up in the ways of Yah? Train up a child in the way he should go, right? Isn't that what the proverb tells us? I think that's 22:6. And when he is old, he shall not depart. Or that might be spare the rod, spoil the child, but that's training him up as well. But I'm sure you can find that if you need to just validate it. Train up a child in the way it should go. It's in Proverbs twice. It's written in there 2 times to reestablish. Let every word be established by 2 to 3 witnesses. There is a training process for these little future potential leaders of Elohim. Some of these little girls are going to be the wives of these men. And they're going to be very helpful in the men walk when they become women of age. If they're trained up right with a mother and father who is teaching them the ways of Yah. and snatching them computer games out of their hand and letting them play. If you're going to let them, use computer games, they should be games with a book. Names of the prophets in the book, names of the stories of the book, true stories, not the lies that you see on television. It should be material that introduced them to Elohim, not to the things of this world. You train them up in the things of this world, and then you get disappointed when they turn to the world as adults and don't want to hear anything about Elohim. But you planted a rotten seed, and now when the tree comes, you're mad because it's not sharing, that the tree is not bringing forth good fruit. Well, then you should have thought about that when you bought your seed. You put in bad seed, you're going to get a bad crop. Praise Yah. He said, I know I've read that 3 times, but maybe y'all want me to read it 3 times. Before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. And before you came out of the womb, I sanctified you. And I ordained you a prophet unto the nations. Then said I, Adonai, Yahuwah, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. Listen to this. See, this begins early on, my brothers and sisters. Very early on. Here's Jeremiah saying, I'm just a child, what I know. Y'all say, well, when I put my words in your mouth, you're going to know everything you need to know. Because that's all that's important to know. See, what we really need to know is the word. But the rest of that shit, we don't need to know what's going on with this world in terms of, their plots and their ploys and their destination. I'm not saying we should be ignorant to what's happening around the world, but that's not what our focus is not in the world. Our focus is in the kingdom to come. Amen? But Yahuwah said unto me, say not I'm not a child. Y'all said, I don't want to hear no excuses. And y'all saying that to many of you guys. Well, I would if. Y'all said, I don't want to hear your excuses. I don't want to hear your excuses. You need to just do what I tell you to do. That's what y'all is telling us. You sisters, again. A lot of you want to do what you want to do. You want to rule when y'all says that that's not your place, rulership. Your place is servicing, your ruler. And many of you reject that, but you're rejecting Yah when you do that. Yah said your role is to line up with a man of Elohim. That's why he said when a man of Elohim finds you, he finds something of a great treasure. But many of you don't want to be that treasure. I guess you just want to be trash. Because you resist and you rebuke and you fight against the man. Your man. So which one do you want? They're both of them are T's. Are you going to be a man's treasure or are you going to be a man's trash? Because you're following the way. When you follow after the world and you follow after world system, sisters, you're following trash. You're outside the gate. That's what the dogs and the whoremongers and the liars and the sorcerers and the idolaters, that's where they operate. If you're operating outside of the kingdom of Elohim, if you're operating outside of the word, then you are operating as a trash woman. And men, same thing applies to you. You're garbage, you're trash. You're like you're in the eyes of Yah, he says, don't give what's holy to the dog. Don't cast your pearls to the pigs. In Yah's eyes, you're acting like a pig or a dog, both filthy beasts, animals, scavengers. Will eat your ass if you were dead. A damn dog is from the wolf family. What you think? Wolves eat flesh. So that same dog you feed, die in there, and that dog get hungry. You see, well, I bet he will eat your ass. I'm talking about your domesticated dog, I might add. Oh yeah, he will. Or she will, whatever kind of beast that you have in there. Praise Yah. Can we go on? Be not afraid, of their faces, he's saying to them. Because see, again, even Jeremiah was saying, I'm just a child. He was using the skills. He was scared that people were going to reject him or that people would not accept him. Like many of you today. Y'all say, don't worry about their faces. Don't worry about their scowls. Don't worry about the shit talking they do. The back talking, the criticism they place upon you. Calling you crazy. Calling you out of your mind. Calling you, super religious or whatever the hell they calling you. Going too far. He said, don't worry about their face. That's what he means when he says that. When he said, don't listen to them. He said, be not afraid of their faces, for I am with you to deliver you, says Yahuwah. Then Yahuwah put forward his hand, and he touched my mouth. And Yahuwah said unto me, behold, I have put my words in your mouth. See, a lot of you sisters and brothers out there, you're rejecting these messages. You think you're rejecting a man, and you're really rejecting Yah if these men are bringing you the true word of Elohim. When you reject what they're saying, you make it personal, you make it be about them, you think you're rejecting them. You're really rejecting Elohim. Because if Elohim put that word in their mouth to bring forth that word to you, and you're rejecting them for that same word, who do you think you're rejecting? That's a question I present to you. It's kind of just common sense. Who do you think you're rejecting? If Yah put it in us and we're bringing it to you and then you're rejecting us, who are you rejecting? Us or Yah? It's a simple question. And it ought not be too hard for you to conclude or get to the right answer. You're rejecting Yah, as our people have done so many times. We talked about it with Moses in the wilderness with Korah and his group. And Yah destroyed all of them for going against his word that he was putting in Moses' mouth. And he told Moses, they rejected me, not you. I know you over there depressed and distressed, in our word. They're not rejecting you, Moses. They're rejecting me. Stand back. Stand aside, Moses. I'm going to deal with this. Same thing he told Samuel when our people wanted a king. Samuel was all in his feelings too, all upset, disappointed, felt like he was a failure. And Yah said, no, you're not a failure, Samuel, because you're doing what I called you to do. See, you, my brothers and sisters, when we're doing what Yah is calling us to do, we can never be a failure. We're the winners. We're going to win in the end. Amen? Yah tell us the end, Esau is the end of this world, and Judah or Israel is the beginning of the one which follows. We're going to win in the end. There's no need for you to get distressed or discouraged because they're rejecting you. If they did it to your forefathers, if they did it to Yahuwah, what makes you think they're not going to do it to you? Of course they're going to do it to you. Because the same evil spirits that were in those men who did it to our ancestors in their generations, those same spirits didn't go anywhere. Those spirits just jumped. They just leaped from body to body to body down to the generations, and now they're currently right here amongst us. The same demons that were in them. Those spirits of rebellion that were there did not change. Spirits don't get rebirth. Spirits don't get born again. The spirit don't have children and babies. They are just here, and they need bodies. And they are above time. They're outside of time. So time means nothing to them. The only time they reference is the end of their time. And they know it's coming. That's why those ones they're trying to go to Mars and they're digging bunkers underground and cities underground. Who wants to live underground unless they know something coming above this ground that's going to wipe their asses out? And they think they're going to escape down there, but they're not. Nope. Just like the people, the heathens, when they built the Tower of Babel with Nimrod, they thought if they built a tower to the heavens, then they could escape the next flood. Didn't work out for them. Didn't work that way. Y'all killed 1/3 of them fools. Go to the book of Joshua if you want to know what really happened at the Tower of Babel. Get out of Genesis. You're limiting yourself. Go to the book of Joshua, and you'll see that they were shooting arrows back and forth. And y'all killed a lot of them. Y'all threw a lot of the asses off those mountains, and they died a vicious death. Go back and read it. Go search it out. It's there. It is there. Praise Yah. So this fight has been going on generation after generation. The spirit warred against the flesh. The spirit of the evil ones war against the children of Elohim. That's why Revelation, I think I want to say it's 12 and 4, talking about the woman. And I see how they had to break away. They had to run away into the wilderness when Yah threw that wicked ass devil like lightning out of the kingdom. Or at least Michael threw his ass out of there. Yeshua just said, I saw him like lightning get thrown down, and he came down to the earth to torment the people of Elohim. Us, Israel. Praise Yah. He said, then I put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And Yahuwah said unto me, behold, I'll put my words in your mouth. See, I have this day set you over the nations, over the kingdom to root out. You said, what's my purpose, DFG? I'm going to give it to you right now. This is our purpose. Our purpose is to root out, to pull down, to destroy, and to throw down everything that's a lie. And that's why I was talking about earlier, giving you hardcore love, sisters, with yesterday's message. for warning you that you're being set up by the evil one to destroy your own men so that they can victimize you without any, defense. So you can be defenseless. You follow me? That's rooting out. That's tearing down. That's pulling down. That's destroying these lies, misinformation, deception. There's a form of godliness. That's to tear down the form of godliness. In other words, this religion. Y'all say tear down the religion. That form of godliness. It's not the truth. It's a form of the truth. It's an imitation of the truth. That's why he called it a form of godliness. It's similar, but it's not the same thing. And what this world has presented to us is a symbol of the promises of Elohim, but it's not the real thing. That's why when Yeshua was being tempted in the mount, he told Satan, when Satan brought him up and said, see these kingdoms of the world? And I'll give you the power and authority and the glory of all these if you bow down and worship me. And y'all told him, Yeshua said, hell no, you must be out of your damn mind. Why would I accept that cheap ass shit that's gonna rot with time, that's gonna fall down with time, that the wormwood will eat or the termites are gonna destroy, or it's gonna rust with time? Say, hell no, I want the thing that's gonna last forever, eternal life. And I know that if I stand fast on the word of Yah and I fulfill my purpose that is given to me of Yah, I will see that blessing. I will see the manifestation of the promise in my life. That's what you are seeking for. That is your purpose, my sisters and my brothers. Again, my brothers. To my brothers, but in the earshot of my sisters. He said, behold, I have set you this day over nations and over the kingdoms to root out, to pull down, to destroy, to throw down, and then to build and plant. To build and plant what? To build up each other. To plant the word, sharing the word with each other. Breaking bread with each other. So that we can grow as a people coming into our right minds. So that we're no longer the lost tribe of Israel. Because that's what makes us the nobodiness. That's why they can change our names every generation, as you heard me say earlier. Because we're lost. You can only do that to someone lost, give them misdirection. If a person is lost, they're going to go wherever you tell them to go. If they don't know where to go, you say go west. They're going to go to west. Then they'll go down there far and realize that that's not the right. They'll come in, wait, go north. They'll go north. Go south. They'll go south. They'll keep on going because they have no idea of where they're supposed to be going or how to get there, more importantly. See, that's a lost nation. That's why we're the lost tribe, because we're the only nation that does not know who we are. Ox knows its master, the ass knows its owner, but my people are lost. That's why Yeshua came, to try to bring us back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of Elohim. Praise Yah. Amen. When he says plant and build, that's what he's talking about. When Yeshua said the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few, pray that Elohim send more harvesters into the fields, or more laborers into the field. This is the end time. He's saying it's ready. It's about to wrap up. So he's gonna rise up. He's gonna raise up men and women. Many of you who are listening, some of you for the first time, you're here for a reason. Yah led you here. He led you here because he wanted you to hear this. Now, what you do with that, that's going to be between you and Elohim. But he brought you here for this very moment, for you to know too. Praise Yah. Verse 11. Moreover, the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying, Jeremiah, what do you see? And I said, I see a rod of an almond tree. Then Yahuwah said unto me, you have seen well. For I will hasten my word to perform it. See, y'all say, if I give you a promise, I'm going to keep it. And when he said hasten, he said, I'm going to make it happen fast. That's why you want to be with the word. Think about my sister, bro. You got the word with you. You got power with you. Oh, you can do all things through Christ. And I'm not quoting Philippians 4 and 13. I don't give a shit about that kind of stuff. I'm not into quotations. I'm into truth. You know, a lot of you get in a situation, you're getting confounded, you're getting distressed, and you're becoming, you want to give up. And y'all say, what are you doing? What do you have in your hand? You can do this. I put you here for this reason. But are you with me? Or are you going it alone? And many of you are going it alone, but you're professing you have a form of godliness. You're using religion and thinking religion going to get you there. And when religion fails you, as it will, as it has, then you're going to get discouraged and you want to come back and blame Elohim. And Elohim said, no, you're a liar. I never sent you over there. I sent you to the book. I told you to study, not your pastor to study for you. I didn't tell you to go to some Bible study at the church. I told you to study. That's why you're being deceived, because you're going to men looking for the things of Elohim when you should be going to Elohim to get the things of Elohim. John talked about that. John said no man need anyone to teach you, but the Rahuk would teach you and show you all things. But if you don't have the Rahuk, because you have not accepted the ordainedship from the Most High, not from these niggas and these wicked Gentiles out here, not from these men. And because you're listening to them, you can't hear Yah. That's the problem. You only hear religion. You only hear words. You're not getting the revelation, because he's not going to give it to you as long as you're trusting those who are outside of the gate for enlightenment, for understanding, for wisdom, and for knowledge. You're only going to get it from Elohim, his Rahuk in you. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. You're going to be like a little child that chases after every little deception. When a baby is upset and the mom is trying to calm it down, she starts jingling things in front of the baby to see if she could get his mind off of whatever is causing him to cry out and to calm him down. That's exactly what you do when you take your eyes off Elohim. You're following after all these little things called religion and the customs and festivals and paganism and social clubs and boule clubs. We talked about these things. Secret organizations, men's clubs, pleasure clubs, all kind of shit. And I call it what it is, dung. When all you really should be focusing on is Elohim and his will and your purpose. As he told Jeremiah, before you were formed in your mother's womb, I knew who you were. So Jonathan, James, Sharif, Dennis, all of you, all of us, Yah said I knew you early on, long before you knew me. But in your soul, you knew there was something going on. And sometimes you chased after the world because you thought it was in the world the treasure you were looking for, and Yah had to slap your hand and bring you back. You know, that's one of the reasons why we formulated the organization, Gideon's Flight, so that we as men can start to come back into the knowledge of who we are as Israelites. To strengthen each other, but to us, iron sharpens iron. So iron sharpens iron, so as a brother sharpens his friend, or as a brother sharpens his brother. In other words, increases the knowledge of who? Elohim and his purpose in his walk before Elohim. He says, moreover, the word of you came to me saying, Jeremiah, what do you see? And I said, I see a rod of an almond tree. And he said unto me, you have seen well, for I will hasten my word to perform it. Again, Yah is not slack in fulfilling his promises, brothers and sisters. Most of you are not having your promise fulfilled because you're looking in the wrong direction for help. You're focusing on the world and thinking that the world is going to rescue you through stimulus packages and job opportunities or promotion, whatever the hell. And it's all just a form of lies, deception. Because whatever they give you, trust me, my friend, my sister, my brothers, they're going to take it back. Nothing that gives you going to last. Nothing. So why are you chasing it? Only thing going to last forever is the word of God. He said heaven and earth will pass away before one jot or tittle of my word passes away. Why are you chasing an illusion when you can have the truth? Verse 13, and the word of Yahuwah came to me a second time, saying, what do you see? And I said, I see a seething pot, and the face thereof is towards the north. Then Yahuwah said unto me, out of the north shall evil bring forth upon all the inhabitants of the land. Out of the north, North America, The land of the north? Out of the north. He said that's where evil was going to come from. In the land that you're going to inhabit, my sisters and my brothers, in our land. And then you've heard me say it before. You know, we have always been here in so-called America. Turtle Island is what it was called before that. We've always been here. And they came from the north. Think about it. The caves, the Caucasus Mountains, the Gog and Magog, the Mongolians, the Mongoloids. They came. And they brought with them their false gods and their idolatry and their greed and their gluttony, their ravaging spirits. And what do? They come to kill. David said their words were like butter, but war was in their hearts. And look at them. All they want to do is kill, steal, and destroy. They are the liars. They are the enemy of Yah. Therefore, they're the enemy of the people of Yah. They are our enemies. And don't you feel it? Don't you know it? Look how they attack us, how they oppress us, how they ridicule us, disrespect us in public, shame us using our own people, like little nasty Nas X, wicked ass, and the Cardi B's and Meg the Stallions, and so many, many more. To degrade us, nationally, internationally. He said, and evil shall break forth upon all the inhabitants of the land. For lo, I will call all the families of the kingdoms of the north, says Yahuwah, talking about all those wicked Edomites, those Amorites, and the rest of those Ikes. He said, I'm going to get them all, and they're all going to come and attack you. That's how they're using, like we talked about already. Now the Asians done jumped in. Now they've always been a part of it, but they hid. They were always our enemies, but they were hiding in the tall grass behind white folk. And now white folks said, now come on out now. It's time for y'all to come. We got to wrap this thing up. These Israelites are starting to come into knowledge. They're starting to come together. They're teaching. They're getting in their right mind. They have found their identity. We can no longer hide the truth, so now we got to kill them. Just like Pharaoh said when he realized that the children of Goshen, the Hebrews there, were growing so fast that he said one of these days they're gonna be more of them than us, and if they ever line themselves up with our enemies, our asses are doomed. See, the history is repeating itself. See, they know that we're now starting to multiply in knowledge and self-awareness, so now they're going to conspire with the rest of the nation. Go back and read Psalms 83. Go back and read Psalms 83. One more time, go back and read Psalms 83. And he's going to talk about the confederation of all the nations coming against our people. This is that time, my sisters and brothers. This is why most so we need to come together and get strong, and not only in the word, but get strong in the body. Physically, mentally, and spiritually. We talked about this before. If you're overweight, it's time to lose weight. If you're unhealthy, it's time to get healthy. If you don't know what you ought to know in Yah, it's time to study and get deep. And if you do know, it's time for you to get to know even more. If you have a lot, you need to empty that out so you can get more in. Like a full stomach. You got to let it digest, or you got to regurgitate it. In this instance, you need to regurgitate, let that word come out so Yah can give you more. So even if you're knowledgeable, you need to be still studying. Not walking around on some high horse like you know something that nobody else knows. Like somehow or another, you're above the rest of the people. No, you're not. None of us are. In the eyes of Yah, we're his sons and daughters. He did not raise you up to be the pimp of the land. He raised you up to be a teacher and to plant and to sow, to plant, to harvest, and to reap. Who? His people. And if you're doing anything other than that, then you're a wolf in the sheep clothing as well. Talking about you so-called leaders of these so-called, camps and churches and ministries, etc. That's why I had to clean it up when I said ministry. I want you to make sure, no, I'm a messenger. I have no ministry. And I don't want one. I would never take one. They couldn't give me one. I need to see my devils. I don't need a whole bunch of them around me at all times, trying to tip me with the cares and the issues of life. No, stay your ass enough where we can dialogue, but I can see you. That way, when you come with a kiss, I can step back and say, oh, no, you're going to betray me with a kiss, Judas? No. We're not going to have any of that. All right? This is close enough. It's about close as we need to get right now. Praise Yah. But this is close enough. I love you. Don't get me wrong. I love you. I respect you. I honor you. That's why I give my time to you. That's why I sacrifice myself to Yah so Yah can use me for you. I love you. But we, let's like you said, we're gonna keep it professional, so to speak. Amen. Let's go on. For lo, I will call all the families of the kingdom of the north, says Yahuwah, and they will come, and they shall set everyone his throne at the entering of the gates of Jerusalem. Here in America, not in the Middle East. I know you don't believe me. You don't have to believe me. I'm telling you, they changed the whole global map up a long time ago. What's north and south, south. Oh, well, when he says no, he's talking about them demons. Now, that's wherever north is, that's where they came from. You can believe that. But as far as these land masks and how they're set up, we don't know where the hell you are. Praise Yah. But Jerusalem, I'm telling you, is here, not over there. What facts do you have to back it up? I have the word of Yah. How about that? Well, let me say that better. I have the revelation of the Rahuk of Yah telling me you're walking in the land of milk and honey right now. You just don't know you are. The world knows that it is. That's why all of them came here. That's why they're still coming here. People killing themselves to come to the land of milk and honey. From the south, the west, the east, the north, everywhere. And you don't know that? You see people kicking down doors to go into Africa, kicking down doors to go into Asia, kicking down doors to go into Russia, or Brazil, or Venezuela, or Argentina. I don't see that. You see it? But they damn sure kicking down doors to come here. Why? Because we're here. And the benefits and the milk and the honey has always been here. But Yah's about to destroy it all now. So now they're coming for something. When they get it, it's going to be gone. It's going to be desolate. Because their time is over with. We are in the end. I don't know how you can't feel it inside of you, sisters and brothers. I don't know how you don't feel it. And he said, I will utter my judgment. I'm sorry, he said, the gates of Judah and against all the walls thereof round about. In other words, they're going to surround us against the cities of Judah, the people of Elohim. And I will utter my judgment against them, touching all of their wickedness, who have forsaken me and who have burned incense to other Elohim with a small e and worship the works of their own hands. He's talking about you guys who practice religion and you're in these wicked ass churches and you're part of these wicked ass religious. I warned you. I told you to come out of there. Y'all say, I'm going to come back and I'm going to judge your ass for partaking in that. I know you think, he said, that's a way that seemeth right to a man, but at the end of the day, you think that you're serving Elohim in a temple of death, in the temple of gods, of the other gods. That's what you think Elohim would never be in there. And he warned you not to go in there. If the heathens are there, that should tell you you're not supposed to be there. Your oppressors are there. Why would you? Your oppressors have been there. Your oppressors, the one who took this knowledge from you, who you are as a people of Elohim, and then introduced you to their lives and their cults, and you embraced it. And even when your oppressor left, you're still under the spell of oppression by worshiping the things they put in front of you. And then you got the audacity to say they wrote this book. They didn't write this book. This is the word of Elohim, not the word of Esau, Edom. The rest of them dogs and pigs. Please. He goes on to say, do you worship those things that are made with your own hands? Your houses, your cars, you follow me, your games, all that stuff that's made with your hands. Television, that's all you give a shit about. He said that's all the world cares about. They're material things. You should not be chasing that, Judah, Israel. You should be chasing the things that are not made with the hands of man, the things that will last for eternity, including your soul. What did Yeshua say? What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? He said it profits him absolutely nothing. This world is worthless. It's just the illusion that is a treasure. But y'all say get your treasure in heaven, where thieves can't break in and steal, and where rust can't come out and corrupt. That's what he told you. Why are you seeking these things? And look what it's causing you: anguish and depression and sadness and misery and loneliness and arrogancy and haughtiness and high-mindedness, and causing you to rebel against yourselves. Hating our own selves. But why? Because we are not to have those things. And y'all are not going to let us have those things, except they corrupt us. And y'all does not want us corrupted. He said, how can two walk together in agreement? You know what I'm saying? He said, how can two walk together if they're not in agreement? You cannot walk and taste out of the things of the world and not become worldly minded. In other words, an idolater. That's what you're doing. When you follow their ways, their customs, that is idolatry, because they're doing it to their gods. They're doing it on behalf of their gods. So when you follow their way, you're worshiping their gods as well, my brothers and sisters. That is the idolatry that the book is talking about. Now that should help you. Some of you might say, I'm not an idolater. Oh, yes, you are. If you're practicing the same things they're practicing, because they're practicing it to, again, their gods. So if you're copying what they're doing, then you're worshiping their false gods. It's not a false god to them, because they're worshiping demons. They're being led by demons. So you are practicing the occult with them when you practice their ways. You don't have to follow them there. You just have to emulate what they're doing. Imitate what they're doing. Do the same things that they're doing. Once you start doing what they're doing, then it doesn't matter if you follow them or not. That's not even necessary. They've already programmed you now. You already captured. You've already been brainwashed. Now you good. You're not good for anything. He said, what did Yeshua say? If the salt, first of all, he said, you're the salt of the earth, Judah. But he said, if the salt has lost its taste, then it has no purpose. A salt that has no taste, you might as well have sand. But he said, Judah, you are the salt of the earth. But when you go to where the world, you have lost your savor or the taste. Therefore, you become good for nothing. He goes on in that same statement that you should be thrown out into the shit piles. He called it the dung. So when you practice their ways in the eyes of Yah, you are dung, poop, crap, doo-doo, shit, whatever word that makes you feel comfortable. As long as you know what it is you're practicing and what you're doing and how you're seen by Elohim. He goes on to say in verse 17, you therefore gird up your loins and arise and speak unto them that all that I command you. And we talked about this before. You cannot be bashful and serve Elohim. You cannot be what you would call introvert and serve Elohim. Elohim's not looking for your introverted self. He's looking for you to have courage. He's looking for you to trust him and to step out and believe that he put in you what is necessary to feed you and those that he has put in your circle of influence or your circle of control. Those he's put you to govern over. You have a message. And not only that, but you are a witness to the world of their wickedness. If you're not walking like them, then you fall into the judgment of the world. The same judgment they're going to get is the judgment you're going to get if you're following their ways. Come out from among them. Be you separate, says Elohim. Don't touch their unclean things. For it's chasing them and obsessing over them. If you can't get it through your own work and your own labor, then you don't need it. And many of the things we work and we labor for are to our own destruction. We bring a lot of harm into our homes. Unintentionally, but we do. Look at what these games have done to families. Men don't even want to go to work now because they're so obsessed with these games, or they get up in the morning tired and can't put in a good day's work for a good day's pay because they've been up all night playing on their Xbox and their PlayStation. The children not learning anything because dad is sitting there teaching them how to play Madden instead of teaching them how to be a man. And mama too. She's over there playing her games instead of teaching her daughters how to be wives, wife material. How to be a servant of Elohim. You know, they constantly want to talk about Proverbs 31 about a virtuous woman and how they are. But yeah, when you start saying, okay, well, these are the things that are required of you if you're going to be a virtuous woman. Then all of a sudden they don't want to be a virtuous woman anymore. So what? That leaves you outside as the whoremonger. And yeah, women whoremongers. You're sleeping with other women. You're lusting after other women. as a lesbian, you're a whoremonger. You're putting yourself in the place of a man. That's all you're doing. Now you the man. Now you got a man spirit because now you chasing what a man should be looking for. You want what a man wants. Whoremongers. And obviously, the men, that is easily applied where it is applicable. Not for all of us. Maybe some of us were there, but we're there no longer. We're not there anymore. Many of us have come into our right mind and say, no, I'm not going to go to hell chasing after some everybody else and been in and his cousin. No way. Think about it, brothers. That's what you want? That's what you're dying for? That's what you're fighting to get? That's what you're obsessed with? A cesspool? Because that's how a lot of these females treat their bodies now. Like a cesspool. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry laid down in between their legs and left their spirits inside of these women. And now when you lay down with them, the spirits inside of these women are coming right back inside of you. That's why your ass is confused now. Leave them whores alone. If you want a wife or wives, then go to Elohim. He'll get you one. He'll guide you to a good, wholesome woman. A woman who loves Elohim. Therefore, she can love you. Otherwise, stay on your own. Stay celibate until y'all send somebody. I'm not talking about no MGTOW shit. Forget that foolishness. Y'all wants you with a helpmate. He said it's not good for a man to be alone. You remember? That's what Elohim said. It's not good for a man to be alone. I don't give a damn what MGTOW says. Men going without women. I don't give a damn what you say, fool. You're not greater than Elohim. You think I'm going to take your word over Elohim? Elohim says it's not good for you to be alone. You're going to say you're a man of Elohim and you don't want women anymore. You're going without a woman. And yet Elohim said you need one. And we're supposed to just buy into that. Or now we're the suckers or the simps, as you call us. If we're chasing after them, yeah, I agree with you. If we're laying down with every Tom, Dick, and Harry whore, yeah, I agree with you. But if we're standing up and saying, no, I want a virtuous woman. She don't have to be a virgin, but she has to think like one. She has to operate and walk like one. Otherwise, she's just another whore, another tramp, a dime a dozen. Well, you let Cardi B them say, oh, she, if you want to put your nose between her ATM between her legs and cash out, you can have her. That's what many of these women are out here now, especially Judah. It's a sad day, but it's the truth. 18, for behold, I have made you this day as a defense city, as an iron pillar, as a brazen wall against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, against the princes thereof, against the priests thereof, and against the people of the land. He's talking about he surrounded us with these enemies, and now we're trapped. And we're trapped, and now they're trying to get us vaccinated, and they're doing all these other kind of things to us to say that we can't have any access unless we go along with their wicked agenda. And we need to resist that agenda. Praise God. I'm almost done, my brothers and sisters. Almost done. You come this far. Come on, you got a couple of more minutes, and we're going to wrap this up. Praise God. And I'm going to tell you something, Satan. Now, you hear me loud and clear, Satan. If you think for 1 second that you have the power to disrupt this word, may Yah curse you. May Yah tear down everything that you love. May Yah give you a sickness. If you're a male, may Yah give you cancer of the colon. If you're a female, cancer of your womb. If you think that you're bold enough to get in the way of the message and the messenger of Yah, may Yah bring that judgment upon you. Now that's for the enemies of the word, for the lovers of the words, for those that are here genuinely and are praising Yah with me for this time to have before him, breaking down the word. To you may all the blessings of Yah come forth, and may they come swiftly. As he told, Jeremiah earlier, he said, I've set you over nations. He said, my word, he said, I am with you to deliver you. He said, I'm going to make it happen fast. Amen. He said, for I will hasten my word to perform it. That's 1 verses 12. Yah said, my promise is going to come quick. So to you, may Yah bless you. May Yah keep your body strong. May he give you long life. May he give you a healthy mind. May he give you the power to resist the devil and these demons that you may be able to cast down. As he said, pull down, cast down, right? Destroy, throw down and that he'll allow you to build, but build the right way. Build with the foundation of the word so that everything that Yah has in store for you, you may be able to possess it. Your land of milk and honey. For you, may Yah bless you continually. But for the wicked, the connivers, the wolves, may that judgment come upon you. And when you see it one day, remember where you heard it from. Yeah, Yah put it in my mouth to give it to you. I don't have to fight you. Yah gonna fight you. For they shall fight against you, but they shall not prevail against you, my people. He said, all that they got us walled in on every side, and all that they're coming against us, he said they're not going to prevail against us. In other words, they're not going to win in the end. He said, I'm going to fight for you, and I'm going to destroy their wickedness. I'm going to destroy every life. I'm going to destroy them and their seed. I'm going to get rid of their children. I'm going to get rid of their men. I'm going to get rid of their daughters. I'm going to slaughter all of them for coming against my people. This is what Yah has said. Praise Yah. This is what's going to come to pass. Praise Yah. But he says in the end, for I am with you, says Yahuwah, to deliver you. You know what that means, brothers and sisters? For us to come out shining, come out as a precious jewel. In other words, that we really live up to being the apple of Elohim's eye. What that means? He loves us with a perfect love, as he hates the enemy with a perfect hate. And we should feel the same way about the enemy, a perfect hate that we should have towards them. Look at what they've done to our communities, to our families, to our belief system. How they've changed the name of Elohim and made it to be the name of these heathens. Causing our people to follow after their gods. Look what they've done. Look how they've spoiled our children with their customs and traditions. And our young men with their inventions. Our women with their tinkling cymbals and all of the things that they want so that they can feel fresh. So that they can be used as a form of distraction to move the men of Elohim away from Elohim and move these men to them. In other words, they want to be gods to their own men. They want, and I mean gods, because you can never be Elohim. And look how the enemy has used them. They're out of their minds. And they don't realize, I'm assuming, maybe they think because you're a female, somehow or another you're going to skip judgment. Oh no, your ass going to judgment too. Just like Jezebel got thrown out there with the damn dogs for her rebellion, her conniving, her plotting against the nation, her plotting against the people of Elohim. He's going to come right back to you the same way, you wicked females out there who think that somehow or another this word is not for you to follow as well. That you can decide what you're going to obey versus what you're not going to obey. Or you're going to take your own sweet time to do it in your season. And you're going to find out that Yah going to say, when you come looking for me, you're not going to find me. Because I was there. I told you. You heard the truth. And you still resisted it. And again, for you men, you are the head. So that means you're going to take it worse than anybody's going to take it. Because at the end of the day, you're responsible. You're the person in charge. And you failed as a leader. You're failing as a leader, many of you. And Yah says, I'm going to deal with you. I told you to stand up and be a man and govern your house. Be the high priest of your house. And what did you do? You allow someone else to take over your house. You let the government take over your house. You let women take over your house. Children have rulership over you. Remember what Jeremiah said? At that curse, he said children will rule over you and women will be rebellious towards you. Oh, that's in the book. Amen? Matter of fact, we're going to close with that. Let's go to Isaiah. Because I know how some of you stiff-necked devils are. You don't want to hear the truth. Amen? But this is what he says. Hallelujah. He says, I want you to go to Isaiah chapter 3, verse 4. He says, as for my people who are called by not my name, Israel, Judah. As for my people, children who are, he said, as for my people, he said, this is going to happen to you. Children will be, this is verse 12, children will be their oppressors, and women will rule over them. Brother, that is a curse. If a woman is ruling over you, you are cursed. Her ass is cursed too, because she should know better. But because she's like Eve with that arrogance, he's gonna judge her just like he judged Eve. And he's gonna judge them, but he did not let Adam escape. Because at the end of the day, Adam was given the commandment, not Eve. Adam was in transgression, not Eve. And men, I'm telling you, if you're not obeying this word, and you're not being the priesthood of your household, the ruler of your family, the leaders of your communities, then God's going to judge you for that. Because you were given the commandment. You're the ones who are in transgression. Because you received the law, not the woman. The woman was there to be obedient, to serve, to help, to coexist with you in her role under you. And for her rebellion, she's going to get the consequences of Jezebel. For your rebellion, you're going to get the same consequences that Ahab got, or Saul got. You're going to lose it. You went this far, and it's going to be for nothing. So you had better get in your right mind, brothers and sisters. You better get yourself together. We are out of time. Tomorrow is not promised to any of us. Now, you need to ask yourself, where are your priorities tonight? What's important to you? That's the question we always should be asking ourselves. What's more important, the things of Elohim or the things of man? Are my things more important than the things of Elohim? And how I know the difference? How would I know the difference between the two? How will I know my flesh is ruling my mind? Except you use the word to measure yourself, to examine yourself by, you are in deception because you can never know which is which. There's a way that seemeth right to a human being, but the end of that way is death. I've said that before in this message. I'll leave you with that. See, you can be thinking you're doing it the right way. You might think you're justified in it, and y'all say, no, you're not. I intentionally put you in this position, in the situation that you're in, because I wanted to see what you would do. I wanted to see if you're going to be faithful in that little thing. So then if you had been faithful, sisters, he said, I would have blessed you. If you had humbled yourself and stayed in the place, he said, I would have blessed you. But because you're in rebellion, now I'm going to curse you. You're under judgment now. And if you're not careful, that prophecy of chapter 4, verse 1, they're going to come after you. And nobody's going to protect you. That is a part of the curse. But again, let me pull this thing in to the end. And again, what happens for people that are in rebellion? He said, your children will be your oppressor. You're going to be scared of your own children. And not only that, he said, women will rule over you. Now, women, you have to ask yourself the question, how is ruling over a man a curse? I know Yah say it is. What do you think, woman? Are you greater than Elohim? Should you be ruling over your man? Yes or no? Because he said you're going to do it, but you're doing it as a curse. He said you're cursed for doing it. You're fulfilling judgment against yourself, thinking that you should be ruling over a man. And men, obviously, you're going to be cursed because now you're infeminized, you're emasculated, and now instead of you're leading, you're following. You're asking permission to be a man. That's called a coward. You don't need anybody's permission to be a man. That was decided at conception. And that'll never change. I don't give a damn what these wicked-ass devils tell you. If you came out of your mother's womb a male, you are a man for the rest of your life. You can cut it off, you can slice it up, you can dice it out. If you came out of your mother's womb and when you had a womb, you are a woman. You can pack it out, you can strap it up, your ass is still a woman. You can cut all your hair off, you can do whatever the hell you want to do. You can take hormones, you can do whatever you want. You're still a woman. And that'll never change. No deception like self-deception. We're going to wrap this up. Praise Yah. The word is the word. If it's meat for your soul, you'll eat it. If it isn't, then you'll reject it. You'll regurgitate it. It will do you no good. But for those of us who love Yah, those of us who want to be used and called by Yah, those of us who hear his voice and a strange voice we will not follow, those of us who are ready at notice to serve and fulfill the direction of the Most High, for those of us who fall under his glory. May Yah bless you. May Yah keep you. May Yah put his Rahuk around you. May Yah give you peace. May Yah give you mercy. May Yah shine his face upon your path that you may be able to walk correctly. And more than anything else, may Yah give you victory over this wicked ass world as these evil days come. DFG, talk to you later. Bye now.